why the Christians have deity. Yeah, I'll say deity. I'm a D&D nerd. I will say deity.
You sound like you should be having some ice
where the
backyard of fucking Louisiana. Sweet tea with fucking
fuck you goddamn tortured bastard that can't fucking actually understand us. Whenever we talk like this, I can actually, I can do this and actually make a whole bunch of good. I can make a whole bunch of good points whenever I talk like this. I can do that all goddamn day long because I can say goddamn to the best of it.
I'm sorry, I don't speak retarded.
Chris, I need you to bend at the waist and suck your own dick.
All right.
Needs to bend. That's a good dick. No, you were saying. I'm sorry, man. I interrupted you.
Go ahead, Dave.
What I was going to say is David. You also mentioned that the neighbors to the south just after they went through their South Korea.
Very Western country.
Yeah, and just the stuff they've done, the way they've been able to manage their economy, manage their society. It's just I don't know.
I don't know
what's going on.
Yeah, I don't know if Chris and Jonathan know this, but South Korea, it's education wise, is always top 3, top 4.
Yeah.
Top 3, top 4. Women's rights, way the fuck up there. Gay rights, way the fuck up there. It's crazy how if you go back to the grandfather that we're talking about, so if you go back to that time, and this is right after the Korean War, when the Soviet Union was getting into its height, and the Soviet Union was able to trade with these communist countries, it would have seemed fucking great. Right? You just went through a war. You've been bombed the shit out of. You got your ass kicked by Canada and U.S. Because let's be honest, South Korea, it was Canada and U.S. really that kicked North Korea's ass. You've been decimated, but you're trading with Russia and everything seems fucking great. And they cut off communication completely. There's no more communication to this country. And they put this guy up on a pedestal. And that's basically how things got started over there,
I don't exactly know what your point is, though.
I'm drunk.
Well, also the point is, too, that's based on history after the war, South Korea took advantage of it. They went through some hardship, but they made some strategic decisions based on history that have taken them to where they are now. North Korea obviously went a different way. I don't know enough to speak to it, but...
Okay, here, yeah. I'll make my point clear. I'll make my point clear for you.
Okay, again, I don't get the North Korean versus South Korean, the totalitarian.
So right now, I'm actually not. Right now in South Korea.
Hey, Dave.
In South Korea, it's very westernized, education top line. So
yes.
After the war, and during
which war?
The Korean War. Okay. So if you look at what happened in the Korean War, it was Canada and it was U.S. that actually kicked North Korea's ass. South Korea didn't have very much to do with it. It's just a fact. I'm sorry. If you're South Korean and you're listening to this, sorry. It's just the way it is. But what happened is that the Soviet Union was at its heyday of power, right? So you did have a communist superpower for that country to trade with. So because they had a superpower to trade with, that country would seem like it was doing okay. And the reason why North Koreans thought that they were doing okay was because of the grandfather of the now leader. So if you go there now, it will seem like you're walking into a country that is still at the same level of when the grandfather was in charge. They captured one American vessel, one American Navy ship. They still paraded as a tourist attraction for people to go on to. Like they took the American power by taking this one ship. So it actually started back then. Then when the Soviet Union goes out of power, there's no more trade, but they've already convinced these people that, the leader is basically a deity. The people there are half starved. They're actually undersized. They're like how Western people were when the Romans were in power. Like 5'4", 5'5", 125, 130 pounds. That's how a North Korean male is right now. It's crazy. I find it fascinating, to tell you the truth.
Racist.
Actually, I would like to pose all right, all of you guys know me. Am I not a physics nerd? You guys all know this.
Okay.
Drew, Chris, Dave,
I heard
Dave
that.
plus.
Yeah.
May I actually pose something to you guys?
No.
The reason. Sorry, now I actually have a burp. All right, we all understand what the second law of thermodynamics is, right? Without an outside force, a system is going to go to a complete disarray.
Were you not on that episode?
No, I wasn't.
Oh, okay. So you weren't on the Dr. England episode, Professor?
No, I wasn't.
Oh,
I wasn't.
Okay. Anyways, go ahead.
An ordered system is going to continue to a disordered system, without an outside force, actually affecting everything else. Everything's going to be homogenized. That's the downfall of what a communist system is. I'm halfway through. I just
So you're comparing the communist system to the second law of thermodynamics. So you're saying eventually.
Yes.
Sorry. Go ahead if you can.
Every system. Yeah. Thank you for getting me back on track. When a communist system is put into effect without some type of outside influence, it's all going to go to just everything's exactly the same.
Yeah. Yeah. In theory, or in hypothesis,
with that, we can actually not hypothesize. Can we look at the Cuban nation?
Well, what I was going to say, Jonathan, was, and I'm sorry if I interrupted you.
No, it's fine. I'm halfway drunk. I'm more than halfway drunk.
In theory, or in hypothesis, the communist society would actually be a perfect society. The issue with it is that you have a dictator.
Yes.
And you have the people around him that run the country, and they end up having more than everybody else. And you can't have, everybody knows this, absolute power absolutely corrupts, right? Would you agree or disagree?
I do.
David?
I don't know. Maybe. I've heard the term. I've heard the saying, but I guess I don't know if it rings true in every case. But
every case so far.
Historically, yes, that does ring true in my nerd stuff. So, Chris, wake up! Chris, wake up!
I am awake, motherfucker.
In the communist utopia, you have a dictator, and that's the issue with the communist utopia, because not everything is fair then. Because in a communist society, everything is supposed to be fair. So in North Korea, in this communist society, where everybody is supposed to get an equal share of the work, you have one dear leader that is getting lion's share
of the wealth and definitely for the power. South Korea is also getting sanctioned as to the ding dongs, right? Like the outside political powers are also like.
How long do you think they can maintain keeping that country segregated from the rest of us?
I have no idea.
Jonathan?
Well, they're not actually successfully doing it nowadays to actually execute people that are able to access outside of it. It's not going to be able to go indefinitely. It's impossible. That's just what South Koreans going to do. They're going to completely devastate the entire satellites.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like,
what the fuck are they going to do? It's stupid.
We have no sense of what the status is of like what the political climate is of Korean people. Like, is there a Korean Spring that's pending?
Yeah, no. So what happens is that from South Korea they send fucking balloons over the border, and the balloons, mini balloons, and they run out of air, and then they drop videos of how we live in the West. And this
there's
is how.
Just no way nowadays. There's no way to hide what equality is. Oh fuck, man.
But they.
Why can't we go ahead?
If they're okay, I will say this straight out, and I've talked to other people about this. If we actually really cared about liberating people, we would liberate North Koreans. You know what I mean?
What means
like if we were like, fuck, we send our armies, so Canada, U.S., Britain, France, we're like, our armies go to the Middle East to liberate people, they go to South Asia to liberate people. If we actually wanted to liberate people, we would be in North Korea.
That's not, in practice, that never fucking happens.
I know that, but I'm saying if we really wanted to, we would be in North Korea.
The thing that would happen would be even the moderates of North Korea, they'd be like, no, fuck you. No, fuck you. We would actually make...
Sorry, we need some kind of education that the people want to, but it's so closed off. Right? Like, if we had an inclination that people of North Korea are sick of it and are wanting to do something, wanting to organize something, maybe, and we had Japan in there, we had Taiwan, we had other allies in the region that can help us. Why not?
Well, we actually, whenever we first, in the first Gulf War, we actually thought that we were going to solve things. In the second Gulf War, we thought we were going to solve things. In Iraqi freedom, we thought we were going to solve things. You know what the thing is? Whenever we think we're going to solve shit, we actually make it fucking worse. We need to actually have a more dynamic plan as to how we're going to deal with people, how we're going to deal with their religions, how we're going to deal with the different demographics. It's a fucking hard problem that no one person, no one government is going to be able to figure out. It doesn't work that way. We're all a fucking bunch of people that are exactly the same way that everyone else in the entire world is. With that, what's the best explanation I can say? Well, actually, considering the things that we just talked about, the things that the Trump supporters nowadays actually hold true. The Trump supporters that we are like sneering at, we can actually make a correlation between them and the people in like Syria and Iraq and I actually saw something else. So you just flipped this off. But that's actually a one-for-one example as to why we cannot, as Americans, put forth a universal policy. I'm halfway fucking drunk. Actually, more than halfway drunk. So I'm going to just like shut up for a little while.
But Jonathan, you have a government that is literally oppressing and stopping information flow and keeping people in a state of hungriness, in a state of delusion that we could do more to solve. We don't do anything at this point.
Which government are we talking about?
The North Korean government.
Okay.
So gone are the days.
It is actively keeping the citizens hungry and is actively keeping the information flow out. Right?
I think so. What we can agree on is going on. Sorry, what was that? We can't go in and bomb people and.
No, of course.
That would be contradictory to what's happening.